going to go ahead and get started. I'm sure she's going to join us here at any time. So I've got
Or did I sent you the address?
4:02
Somebody beat you to it.
on October the 22nd, 2025. We call the meeting to order. First, if we can just do a roll call. We'll start over here with you.
Philip White. Joe Venosa.
Stefan Feliciano.
Joe Schiaffino.
Brian Lisht.
Michelle Wright.
Robert Taylor.
Jim Atkins.
Steve Doubt.
Margaret Sebastian.
Okay, and then our little bit of housekeeping, just make sure everyone is aware that this meeting is being recorded, and it will be viewed by the public. So make sure we're all aware of that. We do have a full agenda. Gonna move to the next thing. I have, can I get a motion to approve the minutes from our October 8th, 2025 meeting? I have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion or corrections, anything like that? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you for that. And today's discussion is going to be focusing mainly on the Sheriff's Department. We're here to listen to Sheriff Lewis, and you guys are welcome to ask any questions you have. Sheriff Lewis, if you want to come up front and take front and center for us. We're going to shine the spotlight on you today.
Unfortunately, in my position, the spotlight's on me every day.
I know. Before we get started, I do have some handouts. So I'm going both ways.
Just give a midterm, so came in handy. Thanks, sir.
Oh.
Okay.
And more.
Do we have enough?
But she is not here. Was the last person supposed to be on Zoom?
Enough copies for everyone. There should be three sheets.
Last one.
We waiting to find
Here,
out if somebody's
that's all right.
coming on Zoom?
That's right.
I think, is Chelsea on?
Thank you.
Chelsea, can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you fine. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, thank you.
You can read mine.
And do you have the documents as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay, very good. So just to kind of recap, Sheriff Lewis, just really mainly for you. So, of course, you know we've been charged with the task of evaluating the salaries, provided recommendation to the county council for the executive, the county council, and the sheriff. We've completed the executive. We've completed the county council. So this is the third piece. We recognize that this could be done two different ways, through the process that we're using, or it can be done legislatively. We talked at our first meeting about what we wanted to do, and we all agreed that we wanted to include the sheriff's salary in our discussion and recommendation. So that's where we are today. So thank you for being here.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yep. So I know that you prepared some information, Sheriff Lewis. Do you want to kind of recap your duties?
Well, you know,
And then-
it's difficult for me to sit here and advocate for myself. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, especially when my deputies deserve and need raises to stay competitive in today's market. We're all competing from the same gene pool for applicants, and recruitment and retention are two of our most difficult pieces that we're dealing with today. So it's difficult for me to sit here and advocate for myself, and I certainly emailed you the information regarding my daily duties and responsibilities as Sheriff of Wicomico County. And the bottom line is this: I do have approximately 100 sworn armed sheriff's deputies that are making split-second life and death situations every single day. And ultimately, I'm responsible for them. I'm responsible for any and every decision they make. And when I said to you earlier that it's been an eventful day, I thought perhaps you might have known, because you live in the Mardella area, but we had a chase that came out of Delaware. Delaware State Police requested we get involved because the Maryland State Police were prohibited from getting involved because they didn't meet their criteria. And there were two separate vehicles. One was actually carjacked. Because no one's life was not in any imminent danger. The state police were not allowed to get involved in a chase. So we joined the Delaware State Police helicopter and chased a vehicle all over Wicomico County, Dorchester County, up into Caroline County before we ended the chase. But my point is this: I have approximately 100 armed sheriff's deputies every day out here making life and death situations and decisions. and I'm ultimately responsible for them. And anytime a lawsuit comes in to the Wicomico County Sheriff's Office, it doesn't matter how far down the ladder the case occurred, I'm always the first one they name because I am the sheriff of Wicomico County, and of course then Wicomico County is named. One of the things that is not on this that I did not deliberately omit but was omitted, we have approximately 220 registered sex offenders here in Wicomico County. And the Wicomico County Sheriff's Office has exclusive jurisdiction over registering every single sex offender 4 times a year, once a quarter. We have more registered sex offenders in Wicomico County than Talbot, Dorchester, Somerset, and Worcester combined. So, as you all know, we have a population here in Wicomico County is believed to be between 103 and 107 on any given day, and I think on a work day we have about 140,000 people here in the county. So it's a very challenging job. I love my job like there's no tomorrow. Regardless on what this commission decides to do, I intend to file for a 6th term as sheriff here in Wicomico County. I was born and raised in this county, and I now have our first grandchild. She's 4 months old, and I truly think about that when I weigh my decision whether to run for a 6th term or not. So I'm very grateful that this commission has convened. I'm very grateful that you invited me to come. But I sit here to answer any questions you might have of me after sending the 2 attachments I sent in email for your review and consideration. I'll answer anything you might have of me. I'll gladly do a recap if you would like, but we stay very busy here in Wicomico County. We truly do, and I'm not complaining. I'm very proud to be the sheriff of this county. It's been the honor of my lifetime to serve here for 5 consecutive terms, and I fully plan to run again with or without an increase in my pay. I want you to know that. But it is the position, or certainly my successor, whoever that might be, or whoever may decide to challenge me in this 6th term, they deserve a pay that is commensurate with other sheriffs throughout the Eastern Shore. And I'm sure you saw the one sheriff up in Queen Anne's County with a population of, I think, 38,000, making a salary of $194,000. And it's sometimes, believe me, he earns it, and he has earned it. And he's a great sheriff and was elected in '06 the same time I was, so he's a 5-term sheriff. He deserves it. But when you see a sheriff making that kind of money with 1/3 of the population we have, it does make one wonder, where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong? Should I move up to Queen Anne's County and run up there? I don't know.
No, because
but money's
you love
not everything.
you love Wicomico County.
I love my Wicomico County, and I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
Unless I'm ousted.
So, last time we met, you did get the spreadsheet that I tried to list some of the several divisions that Sheriff Lewis kind of supervised and was overseeing. And we've tried to compare ourselves to Cecil, Frederick, and Anne Arundel counties. I know that I can't tell you specifics, but I can tell you that a lot of these other county sheriffs don't have to oversee as many divisions as Sheriff Lewis does. Hopefully you guys did receive some information via email, so you've been able to look over some of those documents. So I'm going to open it up now for any questions that anyone may have. Chelsea, we've got you on Zoom. Can I start with you? And do you have any?
You certainly may, but I actually don't have any questions for Sheriff Lewis at this time. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Okay. Joe, you look like you've got a question.
I do.
Okay.
Sheriff Lewis, are you familiar with Anne Arundel County and their setup with having a police force and a sheriff's force?
I am, sir.
So can you explain, one of the things we've tried to weigh is and as Chairman Wright said, you have a lot of divisions. There's a lot that you have to oversee. How would it work to the best of your knowledge, in Anne Arundel County, that they have an independent or a separate sheriff's office and police force versus what you and your deputies are doing in this county?
Well, the Anne Arundel County Police Department handles all law enforcement operations to include all patrol and all investigations in Anne Arundel County. The Office of Sheriff in Anne Arundel County, which is now led by Sheriff Everett Sesker, who's a retired Prince George's County police officer, he handles exclusively civil service and courtroom judicial protection. He does not have any patrol responsibilities like we have here in Wicomico County. They do not respond for calls of service at all. He doesn't conduct any criminal investigations in Anne Arundel County, and that includes internal investigations or outside criminal investigations. Internals will be handled by another law enforcement agency per the sheriff's request. So that is what we consider a non-full-time sheriff's office, handling just civil and judicial protection.
So would it be reasonable for someone to look at some of the comparative counties that do have, say Montgomery County, that has a police force and a sheriff's? We might look at their salary and say, look, the sheriff's salary looks low, but they actually just have a lot less. They're not apples to apples compared to what you're doing.
Well, I will tell you, the sheriff's salary, I believe, in Montgomery County, Maryland, is well over $200,000, and Montgomery County Sheriff there handles exclusively civil and courtroom protection as well, because they have the Montgomery County Police Department up there. Now, Anne Arundel County Police Department is about a 700-man department, and the Montgomery County Police Department is about 2,700. They have a very large, but they also have a population of 1.1 million.
Sure.
In Montgomery County. It's a very large county. But the sheriff up there, and he's a dear friend of mine, he's in his first term as sheriff. He makes well over $200,000. And again, courtroom security and civil service is what they do in Montgomery County.
In Cecil County, sorry, one last follow-up question and I'll move on. In Cecil County, their sheriff's office is more similar to you,
It
correct?
is. Yes, it is.
And their sheriff, who has to do the civil, the courtroom, and patrol, is at $150,000.
He is.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. And I will tell you this: they wanted to make his salary $190-some thousand, but it was such a large jump going from his current salary to $190. He's still well below his commanders. To give you an idea, Joe, here in Wicomico County, my chief deputy's salary is currently $133,000. My major's salary is $131,000. I have two captains, each making $124,000. I have two lieutenants, each making $111,000. So I still have a total of four people under my command that are making considerably more than what I currently make.
Okay. Thank you.
Sheriff, if you don't mind. By the way, sorry for chuckling. I think of that because we work at Salisbury University, where the system does not operate in such a way where people below you make more. So sorry for that.
That's the benefit of working for the state, right?
Yep.
We'll leave it at that. But just for one point for clarification, sir, you had mentioned that you have about 100 sworn men and women in the...
Sworn, yes, sir.
Sworn, correct. So just to clarify, how many civilians are currently working in the sheriff's office, give or take?
Approximately 30, 35.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure, just so we get a sense of what that compares to with Cecil. So, great. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
Yeah, Mike, one of the things that does concern me is that disparity between some of the people under you and your salary. But, I mean, I will tell you, in a hierarchical organization, it's not totally unusual. I suspect in many of the other sheriff's offices around, it might be the same. I know when I got my commission in the Navy, I was making $220 a month, believe it or not. I got CPay, brought it up to about $260. I had first-class electricians under me that were making more than I, so it's not unheard of, because they had 20, 25 years in. But I'm still concerned about it, don't get me wrong. And one of the things that I am concerned about is the fact that your salary is fixed for 4 years. The sheriff's salary is fixed for 4 years. The FOP salaries are renegotiated periodically, and I think that's now down to a 2 or 3 year time frame. So the next 4 years, they're probably going to be negotiated at least once, maybe twice. And I'm interested, I know you may not have these figures, and Laura may not either, although I talked to her earlier. I'd like to know, for the last 4 years, what the increase for them was, just a general percentage, and, and just speculating, because that's what we'd have to do, how much it might be in the next 4 years. Because that, I think, we need to consider with respect to the sheriff's salary. And there's another aspect of all of this, too, of course, and that is the fact that the sheriff's salary is fixed for 4 years, cannot be increased, cannot be decreased. And just for example, and I'm not, I'm just throwing this out as a possibility, if something would happen and you would retire, the next sheriff that would come in for the rest of that 4-year term would be at the salary that whatever the council sets it for. So there's a lot of odd.
Your concerns are very legitimate,
Yeah,
Mr. Taylor.
yeah.
They really are. They're very legitimate. I can tell you we've gone from a starting salary of $46,000 up to $57,200 right now. $57,200. However, I am well aware of negotiations that are currently underway, and the starting salary is expected to go up to $65,000 to $67,000. I was told perhaps 70 to 71, just to stay competitive with surrounding law enforcement agencies that have now gone up well over $70,000. Just the Talbot County Sheriff's Office has gone up to $71,000 or $72,000. Newcastle County PD just went up to $74,000. Lewis, Delaware Police Department just went up to $72,000. So, and I know Worcester County is getting a considerable raise for their deputies, which will be well above the starting salary for Wicomico County Sheriff's deputies. So what you said is very factual, it's very true, and it is a consideration and probably one that I had not thought of and articulated as succinctly as you just did.
Well, I'm also interested in it because I think the last time or two, the increase has been mostly at the low end and not at the high end. But nevertheless, when you have that, you have salary compression. If you don't increase the high end too, then you've got compression. So at some point, you've got to increase the high end.
Yes, sir.
Just to make it reasonable.
At this phase, I am not privy to any negotiations taking place between the county executive and the FOP. That's done between them.
Yeah.
I stay completely out of that. I'm not consulted. I'm not asked to be consulted, nor should I be. That's between the FOP and the county executive. Then they present that to the county council for consideration. But I've not been privy, but I've been told by members of the FOP, not the county executive, that they're looking at a minimum salary of 65 to 67, perhaps 70 to 71, just to stay competitive in our region.
And there's another aspect of it too, and you can help me maybe on this because I couldn't get any information off the internet. There's also an overtime factor.
That was my question,
I
yeah.
assume.
Absolutely.
And so that throws another wild card into some other wild cards.
And you know, Mr. Taylor, I'm glad you brought that up. We can't even fulfill all the overtime assignments that we are expected to do. We've reassigned deputies in an overtime capacity this week at the Wicomico County Circuit Court building right here because of a murder trial we have taken place. And yesterday, additional deputies were called to the Circuit Court that's being presided by Judge Jimmy Sarbanes, and we end up making an arrest of 2 individuals for witness intimidation. And then there are other overtime assignments that we're trying to fulfill this minute for events taking place this weekend, community events and other events, obviously to serve as a deterrent to, and you got the Governor's Cup that's about to take place, and we'll have many deputies assigned to that at the Civic Center. So there are a lot of overtime assignments, and overtime rates are and have to be considered, are considered to have to be considered.
Sheriff, I'm sorry to interrupt, and I realize this is not an easy or perhaps a fair question. What would you say the average deputy makes in overtime per year, on average? Again, it's a hard,
No.
it's impossible.
Several of the younger deputies who,
Yeah.
who really want to work the overtime.
Somebody who's hungry, yeah.
Absolutely. They can easily make 15 to 20,000 or 25,000
Okay.
if they want. We have other deputies that don't work any overtime because it doesn't. Their family time means more to them than working overtime, which puts a burden on us trying to fill the slots for all the overtime assignments. There's not a day that goes by I don't have a civilian employee who puts out all the overtime available to deputies. And oftentimes, Major Todd Richardson works those assignments because he's divorced, he's living by himself, he's still in great physical shape, and he goes out there and he's working the overtime.
Yeah.
Todd works a lot of overtime. Major Todd Richardson.
And he's got to come to the council meeting every now and then.
He does, and he's always at the airport working TSA overtime.
Yeah.
That just leads me to a question. Are you short deputies?
Yes, sir, we are.
How many approximately?
We've been provided with the approval to hire 5 new deputies, but every time we hire a deputy, we have 2 that retire. So we just can't keep up with attrition.
Yeah.
You know, and with the anti-law enforcement climate, that's made a huge influence on retention in our agency. So right now we are down about 7 deputies.
leads to the overtime.
Yes.
And it doesn't help that you're not paying as much as other counties. I mean, there's billboards on 50 for other counties come to us to make X amount of dollars.
I've had 3 deputies leave in the last 30 days. One went to the Charleston County Sheriff's Office in South Carolina
Nice.
to follow his girlfriend down there. One left and went to the city of Salisbury, and one went to a state agency,
Questions down here?
all for better pay, except for the one down in Charleston, South Carolina. That was for a girl.
No, that's.
I think he would have gone for free to follow her down there.
Any questions out on this end of the table?
Couple questions on benefits wise. It's listed here, healthcare, cell phone, computer. Retirement wise, there wasn't any details on retirement. Do you guys have LEOPS? Do you guys?
We are not in LEOPS, which is a law enforcement officer's pension system. It is the Cadillac retirement system, but I must say, Wicomico County years ago, working with this council and the county executive, we have a pretty decent retirement system right now. I'm very proud of what Wicomico County has provided for our deputies. While it is not LEOPS, because it's so expensive to buy into LEOPS, it is what we consider to be very comparable. And our benefits, our retirement, and our disability is greater now than it's ever been. And I'm very proud of the county executive and our council working together to provide that for the deputies. Absolutely. But we are not in LEOP, sir.
Okay.
I have another question.
Sure.
Oh, no, good, Dr. Sebastian.
Look, I want to know about what are you doing for community engagement. You know, I don't get a chance to see you or spend time with you, and I'm grateful for that. We've never had any interactions, but what are y'all doing as it relates to community engagement or educating the citizens of Salisbury?
Dr. Sebastian, every weekend and oftentimes weeknights, we are at after-school activity events. Our deputies are. And as you well know, here in Wicomico County, all the school resource deputies are distributed between every high school, every middle school. They're at all the after-school events. We have tables set up for recruiting everywhere we go. We have many weekend events where I have commanders and deputies, and many times myself, that will go to different community events just for recruiting purposes. We do that all the time. And what we've been doing most recently with our brand new facility, we welcome all kinds of civic organizations and community members to come to our building to have their monthly meetings. And I know we've done that for the Farm Bureau. We've done it for all the Lions clubs, Rotarian clubs, Ruatan clubs, and fire chiefs associations, just because we want people to realize that this brand new facility is in fact a community building, and I want everyone to take advantage of the Wicomico County Sheriff's Office new building, especially the large classroom or emergency operations center, and many people have taken us up on that offer, and that's a great opportunity for recruiting people. And 2 weeks ago we had our open house in Wicomico County where we had money available through the Governor's Office of Crime Control and Prevention to give out all kinds of freebies to advertise for recruiting in Wicomico. That's the first thing you saw when you came through our front door, were 2 large tables set up for recruiting into our office. So we're spending a lot of time doing that. Yes, ma'am, we are. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I don't have any other questions about your work, or I just want to know how you are making a positive perspective of the police department right now, or especially your department, because I think you talked about the environment that we're in, and people are not excited about going to work for you. They may be excited about that's true.
No, I don't disagree.
So I want to know, like, how are you giving a positive reputation for your...
Well, I will tell you, I have gone out of my way to recruit people for the white, especially our minority community. I've gone out of my way to do that. I know my chief deputy has, and that includes every restaurant where we are. We get up, we walk over to tables, and we try to recruit people. And one of my deputies who just left in the last 30 days went with Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and he was an African-American deputy. He was good looking, he was charismatic, he was a bodybuilder, he was a mixed martial artist, he's the proud father of 2 children. His latest one is literally 3 months old, and it broke my heart for him to leave us. And he went with ICE. And he saw this as an opportunity for his family to have a better lifestyle for his family, and it broke our hearts. We did not want to leave. We did not want to see him leave at all, but he left to go to ICE, and it broke our hearts. And as you all know, Glenn Hilliard was shot and killed 3 years ago. Not only was Glenn an awesome deputy, but he was such an ambassador for my office. African-American deputy, sharp, squared away, my primary drone operator, criminal investigator. He was doing, living at home with a beautiful wife, 3 gorgeous children, doing everything right, was a recruiter for me, and he got shot and killed. So, we struggle for recruitment. We at every race and every ethnicity, quite frankly, we struggle. And God knows we would love to see more minorities apply for the Wicomico County Sheriff's Office. But I think that would be echoed by every law enforcement executive across this state. We would love to see more representation. But with the anti-law enforcement climate as it is, I don't think it's just they don't want to come work for Mike Lewis. They don't want to come work for any law enforcement agency right now, because we are damned if we do and damned if we don't. It's very tough. It really is. It's very tough.
And you lost Tim Robinson, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
And that was a big loss.
I know. Yeah.
That was a big loss, Joe.
He's a good friend. No, I know. No.
so I'm involved with Relay for Life. There's never been a time that I haven't reached out and that we haven't had someone come and provide security and just walk around and just interact with people that are at the Relay for Life event. We have a festival at the market every year, and they come and they do a dog demonstration, the drug dog demonstration, and it's nice to see that the people can just see the interaction of the animal with the people, the deputy with the people, just bringing awareness. So just from a personal standpoint, I've seen how they try to get out and support different, whether it's Relay for Life or a festival or just a thing going on.
2 weeks ago, the Sheriff's Office was part of an event with the Lower Shore autism community at Winter Place Park. It was a great example, the same kind of, public participation. So there's a lot of things that happen. They're sometimes not maybe as widely publicized, but if you're out there and you live in a community, you get to see it. And so, yeah, it's great.
Every day.
Yeah, every day.
So any questions, and write it down on this end? You guys are going to be quiet today?
I have a couple more, if it's okay. I want to talk about the responsibilities at the airport. We have a commercial airport in Wicomico County. I see your sheriff's deputies there with part of security. There's only 2 other counties, Anne Arundel and Washington, that have a commercial airport. We've already talked about Anne Arundel County and having a separate police force. What is your role with what those sheriff's deputies do? Are they there almost in a auxiliary capacity? Is it something that you have like a MOA with TSA, or do you have to manage that situation at all?
We not only have an MOA with TSA, we do manage that program. It's exclusively in an overtime capacity. And honestly, Joe, we have difficult time getting deputies to fill that, but we have to have a deputy there every single day. They have to be there for every departure. They have to be there for every aircraft loading. They have to stand there and maintain a high level of situational awareness. And inevitably, we make arrests there all the time. We had for instance, and this didn't make the news, and I'll tell you why it didn't here momentarily, but we had a woman a 52-year-old woman that was going through security the other day. She put a large steel box on the conveyor belt. It went through. She went to grab it when it came out the other side, but they wanted to re-examine it. They saw something suspicious. They went to back the conveyor. She grabbed it, and then she took off with the box. She wouldn't stop. We had to end up arresting her for disorderly conduct, but she wouldn't obey the sheriff's deputy, who was a female deputy working that particular day. And she ended up having $72,000 in cash inside that box. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't carry $72,000 in cash around with me in a box like that. But she also had multiple forms of identification. She was from New Jersey. So we had to fully investigate that as to the origin of the money, where that money came from, why she had different IDs, why she was traveling with so much money. And then she had checked in 2 large bags of brand new apparel that had been bought from a clothing dealer over in Ocean City. So that took us away so we had to have a deputy stay there, but then that deputy had to leave to investigate everything, and that included running her through our federal system with HSI, Homeland Security, to find out a little bit more about this woman. But these are things that we deal with all the time, and of course we're always getting people with ammunition. They forgot they had ammunition in their bag, weapons in their bag, knives, guns, whatever. Over the years, we've gotten a number of guns. None has been intentional. A lot of people forget they have guns. They have legal permits to carry them, but when they're boarding an aircraft, you can't do that. You got to declare it. It's got to be in a checked bag. So that happens all the time, and it takes us away from our duties, just standing there and serving in a capacity really as a deterrent to anybody thinking they're going to do something on the aircraft.
Does the sheriff in Washington County have to do the same thing in
They do.
Hagerstown? And
Washington County Sheriff's Office.
okay, but not in Anne Arundel County where that's
They do not.
Okay.
That's all handled by the Maryland Transportation Authority at BWI.
Okay.
That used to be the Maryland State Police. Now the Maryland Transportation Authority handles all of that at BWI.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Chelsea, I don't want to leave you out. Do you have anything to add at this point?
No, ma'am, I don't. Thank you.
Okay. All right, anyone else have questions for Sheriff Lewis? You guys are quiet today.
Nice to meet you.
So you have all the information you need right now? Questions have been answered?
I'll give you one more of a philosophical question, but it relates to the workload. You were elected Sheriff Lewis in 2006, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you're coming up on 20 years now. Putting aside changing national climate, technology, the nature of crime, what would you say from when you started to now, what is the most time-consuming new task that was not a part of your job then that you're doing now?
Trying to rein in what I view as a lack of accountability in society today. Really, that's our most difficult task. The lack of accountability. There's just, it's primarily because Maryland lawmakers have legalized things that have been on the books for years as being illegal, is now perfectly legal. And just trying to rein in all the lack of accountability. It's made our jobs very, very difficult. Social media has made our jobs very, very difficult. Social media can be great. Cell phone can be great. But when you have one shoved in your face on every call for service, on every traffic stop, it's difficult to focus on the task at hand. And that's simply taking enforcement action. When you've got somebody that's sticking a cell phone in your face all day, every day, it's very challenging. And obviously with body-worn cameras, which I was a huge advocate, we were the first law enforcement agency in Wicomico County with body-worn cameras. I was the first law enforcement agency in this county outside of the Maryland State Police with in-car cameras because I wanted that non-biased witness. I wanted mobile vision to protect this county and protect this county from civil liability, and it's done just that. The body-worn cameras, I wouldn't be a police officer today without a body-worn camera because it's refuted almost every allegation against law enforcement.
Thank you, sir.
So I don't know, so I'm just asking, what is the partnership that you all have with ICE and what does that look like?
The 287G program, it's still, we've announced our intent to enter into an agreement. And I have been so clear about this, but I'm going to make it clear once again. We will never be conducting enforcement operations on the street with ICE. We won't be conducting traffic stops with ICE. We won't be doing search warrants on houses with ICE. Anything that the Wicomico County Sheriff's Office does with ICE will be exclusive to the detention center, and that will be simply serving warrants on individuals who have already been identified as being wanted by ICE, and they're going to get a deportation order on them. We won't be doing any enforcement activities whatsoever. I don't have the manpower for that. Dr. Sebastian, I simply don't, number one. Number two, we have our hands full doing what we're doing here in this county. And if ICE has a policy and that's what they want to do, then have at it. But if I can be part of the solution and how people are handled and how people are processed in this county, why wouldn't I want to be part of that at the jail? Really, and how that's handled.
ICE has an office here now, don't
They do.
which is staffed, I think, with
Fully staffed.
several people.
Yes, it is.
Fully staffed, and y'all
Yeah.
need more people.
Yeah. They also handle all of Sussex County, Delaware. The office here in Wicomico County. Yeah.
Well, the whole shore.
Oh, they do.
I think
Yeah.
it's the whole shore.
I get calls all the time from Delaware State Police regarding ICE operations and what they're doing up there. But Delaware State Police, same position I'm in. They don't do anything operationally with ICE. They actually respond after the fact. And we've responded on 2 occasions after the fact where accidents have occurred by suspects attempting to flee ICE agents. And we respond, we handle it. They have no mechanism in place to investigate an accident, a wreck, or remove a car, call for a tow truck. They truly don't. This is unprecedented for ICE to be doing what they're doing in terms of overtly going out and looking for individuals. They've never been put in a situation like this. They've always been responsive, in dealing with these types of situations. So this is all new to them. It's new to us. So when I examine the 287G program, like 12 other sheriff's offices are currently doing across the state, that's in addition to the 3 that currently have 287G programs in place, that being Cecil, Harford, and Frederick counties. But there are 12 other sheriff's offices across state, 13 of us, that have currently announced our intent to work with ICE. And it's like I said, if people are viewing ICE and what they're doing as being problematic, why would I not, as sheriff, want to be part of making that better, and I do mean that, making that better for our county residents and how that's going to unfold in our county. So, and so far, Nikita Baker is the special agent in charge of ICE out of Baltimore. She's been awesome to work with, and I've had telephone conversations with her. I have emailed with them, and currently it's in limbo. It's still waiting to be smoothed out, only because I don't have the jail beneath my purview. It falls beneath the purview of the county executive. If it fell beneath my purview, we would have been operational by now. But because it doesn't, it has presented its own unique challenges to ICE and our county, quite frankly. It really has.
And of course, all this is a moot point if the state passes legislation anyway in the coming session.
And we all foresee that coming.
That's my understanding too. Thank you.
One more follow-up question. How often do you have to go to Annapolis during their session, and do you ever have to testify? I know you and State's Attorney Dykes have really advocated against the new laws about how to question juveniles. Do you find yourself often having to go to Annapolis to represent the county?
I go to Annapolis a lot, Joe. That's an additional responsibility that truly 97% of the sheriffs in this state don't go to Annapolis at all. You can count them on one hand, the number of sheriffs in Annapolis with regularity that routinely testify on legislation, oftentimes in support of legislation or in opposition of legislation. You can count those sheriffs on one hand, and I'm up there all the time. I'm one of the consistent ones that's up there testifying on legislation. Myself, quite frankly, Harford County, Frederick County, and Talbot County, Joe Gamble. We're the 4 that are up there all the time.
Is there a roundabout number? I mean, in 20 years, do you find yourself, because some sessions go different than others, is it like 5 or 6 times?
Oh, no, dozens and dozens and dozens of times.
Okay.
And oftentimes, when I go to Annapolis, many times, I don't get home till after midnight.
Okay.
I don't get home till after midnight. I'm there a lengthy period of time, waiting for our bill to be called.
Yeah.
But I do it because it's the right thing to do. I want Wicomico County on the map. I don't want Wicomico County to be forgotten. And if it's legislation that's going to affect the quality of life for our people here in Wicomico County, then I'm going to go up there and express our viewpoints.
Great. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Sheriff Lewis.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Thank you for your
Madam
time.
Chair, seriously, thank you all for taking time into your schedule to do what you're doing. Sometimes this is thankless, but I want to publicly say I just hope that the county council accepts your recommendations, your suggestions, and they adopt it. I hope they do.
Very good. Thank you so
all.
much.
You bet. Whatever they might be.
Thank you. Okay, so this leads us to our general discussion part on the agenda. So we've got a lot of information that's been handed out. We got all of our questions answered. And I'm going to open it up to see what everybody's thoughts are. So who wants to start?
I'll
Joe,
start.
Joe, you're not shy.
Yeah.
You're looking at me like, me.
Imagine that look as an 8-year-old in school.
I was hiding in the back somewhere, maybe. When we started the committee back when we had our first substantive meeting. The first one where we actually started going over data in August, I was a really big proponent of comparing best apples to apples. And, I did a presentation where we talked about Anne Arundel County, Cecil County, and Frederick County to kind of give us that gauge. And I did get the chance to ask them the question. Not all sheriffs have similar duties. I think here there's more than just how many people are working under you. It's how many different hats you have to wear. And I think one of the things we really need to take into consideration here is in this county, we're asking our sheriffs, our county sheriff, to work at a commercial airport, to be the police force, to also be a political advocate for legislation in the county. And then one thing he brought up that to me was new was how cumbersome registering the sex offenders are. And of course, he may not win re-election, but we're going to ask someone to do that job. There's a lot of different jobs. And I spoke when we're talking about county executives' pay, that we don't have wastewater treatment plants. For the county, but in the sheriff's position, we do have a lot of different departments, so to speak. So,
Who's next?
Well, just kind of building off what he just said, I mean, that's why I've kind of come up with the 5 counties on the list I sent. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we just sort of forget about Anne Arundel County. It's so different. They essentially serve warrants and police the courthouse. That's what they do. They don't do any law enforcement, and that's why they have so few people. They have less than we do in a sheriff's office, and yet it's county 6 times larger in population. So I've tried to pull counties that were roughly our size. I've tried to keep them the same roughly in wealth, although Calvert County, which is kind of an outlier, it's actually smaller than we are in population, but it's much wealthier. And that has, of the group I pulled, that has by far the highest sheriff's salary. And when you look at them all, I mean, my gut reaction is that a substantial pay increase is needed. And some of the reasons I talked to him about, one of the reasons is just the people under him are making a good bit more than him, some of them. And they're going to get at least one big pay raise in the next 4 years.
Yeah. And just on that point, Bob, and I didn't think to ask the sheriff, and he may have not even known, but how common is that with all of these peer counties, or at least all these counties, like in terms of having a command staff and what they're making relative to the sheriff?
Well, I kind of made the comment.
You made the, yeah.
I think this is the case, and maybe we need to get more information on it just for general background. But I can't help but believe Frederick County, the salary is $125,000. Now, just so you know, that is fixed by state legislation in Frederick County. Each county has a separate section in the Maryland Code for their sheriff. And one of the things it discusses usually is how the salary's set. And it can be set by the council like we do. And sometimes it's specified. I think the only one that's specified 125,000 period, the only way you can change it is at the General Assembly in Annapolis is Frederick County. So that's why that's lower, even though Frederick is a much larger county.
Yeah.
The sheriff runs the jail, has almost 400 employees. Frederick County is the largest geographic county, I think, in the state, if I'm not mistaken. So, there's some oddities you have to take into account. But it looks to me like, Washington County would be somewhat comparable in terms of size, in terms of wealth. Cecil County certainly is. And to me, when you look at these, you're looking at something that may not be as high as Cecil County, but it probably would be up in that range.
I would agree. I think Cecil County is the most comparable, and that may be just too much of a jump, but I do think we're looking at a larger increase here than we were looking at for the county executive or the county council, or at least I am.
I looked into Cecil County because in the MACO list of salaries, it's the older salary, the $137,000 for Cecil, and that just started this year. in FY '26. They just went up. I guess that's the beginning of the 4-year term in Cecil County for the sheriff. So they just went from 127 to 150. And, you know, that, they may have wanted to go to 190, I don't know. I mean, that would seem like a huge jump for Cecil County, but who knows? I mean, I don't know one way or another. I know what they did, and that was 150.
So is it fair to say, again, I don't know the intention of when we want to vote on this and for what. I don't think we've arrived anywhere near a number yet, but there seems to be a general consensus that we're going to increase the position's pay rate and by a somewhat substantial amount. Is that correct, Mr. Jim? What do you?
Let me do what it seems like I always do.
Throw a number.
I was waiting for it.
Let me throw a number out there for you, and then you can jump up and
All
jump
right.
down, go whichever direction you
All
want.
right, all right.
I think with everybody, I'm for a substantial raise, and I'm looking at the, for conversation, I'm looking at 130. That's about 11% raise.
Now, are you suggesting we do it in steps like
No.
we did or just boom?
130.
Every year.
Okay. My only, again, and I'm in agreement. We have to go up, but we have our sheriff has the lowest number of employees, and he's the only one on the list that doesn't operate the jail and detention center. So, to me, that's a significant.
But he has an airport that he's responsible for.
Okay.
He's got the, and I understand.
Yeah, I wouldn't compare an airport to a jail, but yeah, it is an additional thing.
Apples
it's
to
not.
airports.
It's not.
Apples to airports.
But you know, years ago, the sheriff's department in this county did like some of the other sheriff's departments on this list. They were a paper server. They did some law enforcement, but 95% of their job was serving summonses and papers. And at that point in time, the state police were the majority law enforcement organization in this county. And now that the sheriff has all the legal authority and is the top law enforcement person in the county, there's days that you might have 2, maybe 3 troopers working. You used to have 6 and 7 on a shift working. So the burden has all been shifted over to the sheriff's department. Just like everything else, the state passes everything down.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's he's got a lot on his plate. He's got a lot on his plate. And you're not going to make up for the first sergeants and lieutenants and captains and colonels that have been there 20, 25 years that are making $130,000, $140,000.
Yeah.
You're not going to get him over top of that, but he needs to be brought up close to him.
The number I have in my head is 140,000, which I think we're, you know, at least from the other numbers that are put out there, I think we're, you know, I think we'll be able to find a consensus somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, 130 to 140 is, I'm comfortable.
I think the range is good. Yeah, yeah.
Just keep in mind, and I know I've said this before, but we are recommending,
Correct.
and the council can
Yeah.
accept,
Or
reduce,
lower it.
or
Yep.
keep it the same.
Right.
Yep.
So when you're thinking about this, keep all that in mind.
Yeah, we can't, yeah.
You might be thinking about with where
No.
you think is a fair pay, where you think they might fall.
Well, our last meeting, we're gonna draw up like a synopsis or a summary on why
It will
we
be a
did
summary
everything.
report. Yes. Mhm.
All right, who's gonna compile that?
I've already got 2/3 of it done.
Bob Taylor, no. Sorry.
What I'd like to see how much the salaries for the deputies went up the last 4 years.
Well,
Just a rough percentage. And then, because, I mean, 11%, which you suggested, I think that might be roughly what it went up the last 4 years for the deputies. Just guessing, not sure, but, and then if you program another 11% for the next 4 years, then you're up 22%. So I think that maybe I'm more in the 140 range, but I would like to see some numbers like that.
Yeah.
to have a better feel for it.
Well, I'd like to also, I mean, the salary is one thing. It's a very important thing. But I'd just like us all to keep in mind the fact that we just opened a $40 million sheriff's office. The council just approved 1.3 yesterday for body cameras over the next 4 years. 1.7, thank you. So, I mean, you know, there are a lot of things that the sheriff's department needs, and I think Sheriff Lewis even addressed it at a point in time. You know, does he get the money, or does the department get the money and help everybody?
Yeah. And just one other point, too, and I understand why it's discussed, but to some extent, I think we have to, I don't want to say ignore it, but put it to the side, is the FOP negotiations are going to happen regardless. We can't control them. And let's be very clear, they're being bumped up this year because it's an election year. Smart politics, but nevertheless, not necessarily something we can control. And so those matters are not related to the essence of this conversation, which is, what is the sheriff doing? What are his basic jobs? And ultimately, is the pay comparable to what the responsibility is? So I think keeping on Mr. Jim's point is important. We have to look at what the sheriff is doing.
So to clarify, we're going from 117 to 130 or 140, is that what you're thinking?
My suggestion is 130. Mr. White is at the 140.
And I came up with it the same way Bob did, actually. I didn't discuss it, but knowing that the FOP has been able to negotiate a little over 10% raise, and then doing the math ahead of time, where they're going to be in 4 more years, that's basically how I was coming up with it. So
My only rebuttal to the 140 thing is, as Mrs. Wright says, this is going to be a recommendation to the council. And are we going in there and recommending 25% raise? Which is...
I would like to, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it accurate that 121 was recommended as his last salary and it was reduced to 117? So I think that's a salient point that's being brought up right now, dare I say.
Yes, you're correct.
Was it 121 or was it more? I forget.
I think it was 121.
Yeah, I think it was 121.
Thank you, Chelsea.
And that was in 2021 or
4 years ago.
4 years ago?
22.
22.
Right. I think I am not disagreeing with the value of increasing it to the rates that are being discussed, but perhaps it would be slightly more palatable if we did the same that we've done with the others and recommended an increase over time. Just, I don't even know that I'm right. I'm just putting it out as a consideration.
do you think you have a council right now that is much more police friendly than, law enforcement, first responder friendly? We've seen them pass things like property tax credits for volunteer firefighters, actually get the funding done for the sheriff's office, that sort of thing. So I think if we do the right thing, it's really up to them to do what they think is right. And whatever number we come up with, and Chelsea, you actually bring up a great point, but whatever number we come up with, once we've done our report and presented it, I think we would all be proud of it, whether they agree with us or not.
I agree. That's a great point. Thank you.
Yeah, just building on Chelsea's, I mean, if you decided to do it in 4 steps, say 5,000 per step, that would be 20,000 overall. Going to 140 is a leap of 23,000. So if you did six, that would be 24,000 over 4 years.
So that puts,
Are we allowed to do that for this position as well?
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would actually agree to that.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
it was said earlier that for this one, it had to be all at once.
No.
So,
No.
so are we talking about putting it at 141 then, if it's 6,000?
I mean, when it comes around to it,
6,000 per year.
yeah, that's what I would propose. when it comes
141?
to it.
I'd second that in a heartbeat.
Okay.
A motion for that?
So can we get a motion then? If that's-
I'll make the motion.
Good.
Yeah.
Second.
I make the motion, yeah, sorry. I make the
We're
motion.
first of that
He might say
line.
10,000 and you.
That's okay.
We need an official motion.
Okay, I make the official motion to increase the base salary of the Wicomico County Sheriff from $117,000 to $141,000 per year with 4-year increments of $6,000 per year.
All right, the way you said it, though, you said with a salary 141, so it has to be it has to be reworded.
130?
Reword it?
Why don't you just say if you're gonna do that,
Yeah.
the salary be increased $6,000 per year?
Okay.
4
All right.
years.
I got you. All right, let's see if I can do this. It's been a long day.
Sure.
I
Keep it
formally make the motion to increase the base salary of the Wicomico County Sheriff $6,000 per year for the next 4 years to $141,000 at the end of the 4th year, full stop.
And Brian?
Second.
Okay.
Okay, any discussion?
This sounds amazing.
Personally, I like Jim's number of 130 a little bit more than the 140, seeing that jump. I agree with all your points, but I think we've been pretty conservative with the others, and I think the 130 is more conservative, obviously, than the 140. I believe he said it was 130 was his highest deputy under him.
No, it was, I wrote it down.
133,000 was.
133. So I like,
That will increase, though, almost certainly in the next 4 years.
good point. I like Jim's number better than, I like the 130 better than the 140, personally. I think it's a little more conservative. That's kind of where my
So
thoughts
like
were.
$2,000 a year instead of $6,000?
Yeah, which is, grand scheme of things,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say.
It's a good point to be, I'm sorry.
It would be $3,000 a year, which would get him up to
Yeah.
129. But,
Yeah.
it could be 3,500 or whatever. I mean, we had to have a number. I threw a number out there to start the discussion.
Yeah.
So,
All right, well, we have a
So we
motion
have
on
a
the
motion,
floor.
We have a second. Any more discussion? Okay, so I'm going to call for the vote, and we're going to do a roll call. We'll go down the table, the yay or nay.
Yay.
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 Yeah.
Yay.
yes.
Hey, I'll go with Jim, I'll say yes.
Sure, yes.
Dr. Sebastian and Chelsea,
Chelsea?
are you there?
I'm here. I'm just struggling with audio a little bit. Sorry. Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yes, so we need a yay or a nay? If you
A
heard all of our
yay.
discussion. Were you a yay?
Yes.
So unanimous? Okay, so the motion passes. Very good. So I know that Chelsea needs to get off here at 5, so I think I have 2 minutes. Dr. Sebastian has to get off in 2 minutes. So we have our next meeting scheduled for November the 5th. Okay. We need to present to the county council. We need to create a summary of what we're proposing. So, question is, the first meeting in November is an afternoon meeting,
All right, I'm not here.
correct? The next one, I think, is the 18th, is a nighttime meeting,
No, for council, no, it's just the opposite.
just opposite.
Yeah, yes. So
Okay,
November,
so-
4 meetings evening, and then the 18th is day.
Okay. So I'm sure that everyone would like to be there, if you can, for this presentation. So a nighttime meeting probably suits most, correct?
The presentation's going to be on the 18th?
Well, this is what I'm trying to get to. If we want to present at that first meeting of the month, which is a nighttime meeting, which would be November the,
December the 4th.
December the, November.
November.
Right, but our meeting's November 5th, so it would be after the fact, unless we,
What
unless
I'm
present.
getting to is, do we want to meet next week?
So we can have
So we
time
can have
to,
time to prepare.
For November 4th.
That works for, because I'm out of town that first week in November.
Okay.
I would meet next week if that's what you want to do.
I will not be in town a week from today, but any other day I can make work. But again, I don't have to be here.
We're talking about Wednesday, November 5th. Is that what?
That was when our next meeting was.
Yes.
Okay, but if we wanted to try to present to the county council on the 4th.
Can we bump up
We would
our
need-
meeting so we can
we need
make
to
that
meet earlier
one?
than
Next
that.
week.
What about
Which is
Tuesday, the 28th?
29th.
Correct.
What about
This
Tuesday, the
first of all,
28th?
I mean, do we really need to present to them in November? Why don't we maybe wait until either the second meeting in November or the first meeting in December? The reason I say that is because doing this report, I think, is going to take more than possibly one meeting. And when you say present, I assume you mean with a written report.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to take that. I've already got the report 2/3 done, so.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's one thing I thought we might.
So the next council, county council meeting that's at nighttime would be December 16th.
No,
No.
November.
No.
No, December
No,
would
if-
be the first Tuesday.
Correct. But
December
So-
2nd.
So if we don't do it on a nighttime meeting on November the 4th, it's going to put us into December,
That's right.
which would be, is it the first Tuesday?
The first Tuesday,
So
December
it'd be December
2nd.
the 2nd. Do you want to
Right.
do that?
I think it might
Mr.
be.
Holman?
Yeah, that way we're not rushed.
That's fine. It's perfectly fine with me. Are we okay with that, Mrs. Hurley, to do it that way? Okay, we're meeting all the deadlines and the criteria for the council, okay. Okay, so we're going to keep our next meeting then on the 5th. I'll work with Mr. Taylor here, and we'll create a report for everyone to review. We can tweak it, make changes, have it prepared, and then we will meet with the county council and get the report and recommendation on December the 2nd. Is that okay with everyone?
Yes, I like it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mrs. Hurley, are we okay with that? Okay. Anything else?
How about just a suggestion? If anybody has any thoughts for the report, send them in.
Well, I mean, I want to,
Don't wait, don't
No.
delay, do it today.
no, I don't, I have no, when you send the draft
Yeah, I'll
around.
send the draft
that's
copy out,
when-
and you guys
yeah.
are welcome to critique it and change
Yeah.
whatever you want.
Send it out and we'll,
Yeah, 'cause that's gonna be
we'll
the
make
starting
notes
point.
and send it
Starting
back.
point, yes,
me a
exactly.
squeeze.
Yeah,
Run it through the shredder.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
Okay,
we're illegitimate anyway, so it doesn't matter.
okay. So can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I make
Motion
the
to
motion.
adjourn.
I'm sorry.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Let's make this happen.
Okay, we got a second down here?
Yeah.
Okay, meeting adjourned.
Aye.